and welcome back to Cloveriness. My name is Michelle and I'm here today to do the social media book tag. I've seen quite a few other people do this tag and it looks like so much fun that I just have to join in for myself. Now all of the questions relate back to different social media platforms and relates them to different books. Let's just get started because it's so much fun. Now the first question is Twitter, and this is to name your favorite short read. Now the last book that I read and loved that was quite a short little book was actually Starring Kitty by Kara Staton, and I think that this is a really great book to choose. I think it fits really well because Kara Staton has been on Twitter for absolutely ages, and if you like, the last time I looked, her tweet count was a ridiculous number, so I think this is very apt. Starring Kitty is a really cute sort of middle grade book about a girl dealing with her feelings for another girl. It is sweet and romantic and it just pulled at all of my heartstrings. I love it. Now the second question relates back to Facebook, and for this they're asking for a book that everyone pressured you to read. Now I don't find myself being pressurized into reading anything, but I do sort of put pressure on myself in order to read a book that loads of other people are reading and loving and raving about. And for that reason I decided to start the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. This is actually Shadow and Bone before it was Shadow and Bone here in the UK. It was actually called The Gathering Dark first and had this really blue cover. And then it had its makeover and title change, and so many people have been talking about this series and really enjoying the characters and the relationships, and then the third book was released recently and I felt like I was missing out in some way, so I did decide to pick up Shadow and Bone and I loved it. I'll be reading the second book very soon. The third question relates back to Tumblr, and for this you're supposed to choose a book that you read before it was cool. Now I have a little bit of a problem with this question. I just want to point out that I don't think that reading a book before it's cool makes it any better or worse than anyone else that joins a fandom at any point whatsoever, but because I've been a book blogger for a really long time, and before I was a book blogger I was a bookseller, and for that reason I do have this proof copy of Twilight by Stephenie Meyer with this very interesting concept art for the hardback book when it was published that looked like this. And despite this cover, I read it almost as soon as the publishing rep gave it to me, loved it, and yeah, and then the whole Twilight thing happens. I don't really know what else to say about that. I'm not a huge Twilight fan anymore, but I do still remember how swept away in this book I was when I first sat down and on my lunch break to read it. There's definitely a quality there that was really captivating for me. So question number 4 relates back to MySpace, and for this question it asks you to name a book that you can't remember if you liked it or not. It was really difficult, this one. I had to go back a long time back to a book that I read in high school. And actually it was made recently into a film adaptation, and my book club were considering reading it before going to see this at the cinema, and I was there thinking, did I like that book? I don't remember it. I have like vague memories of the plot and the characters, but did I like it? I don't remember. So I did end up buying the book. I didn't end up rereading it or seeing it at the cinema, but whatever. It was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I can't remember. Did I like it? I read it. Question number 5 relates to Instagram, and for this it asks for a book that is so pretty you had to immediately Instagram it. Now I do have Instagram, I use it fairly regularly, but I've never really gushed so much about a book cover that I had to go and take a picture of it and quickly upload it or anything. But I did find one picture of me being super excited to have a book, and you know, the picture was like this. Because I was so excited. I mean, this is the cover. And this is the spine that you could see in my Instagram photo, and it's Clariel, the prequel to the Old Kingdom trilogy by Garth Nix, and to me it's very pretty. It really is. This book is being published in October by Hotkey Books. I'm so excited about it. Question number 6 relates to YouTube, and for this question it asks you to choose a book that you'd love to be made into a film adaptation. And I struggled again with this one because every time somebody asks me this question, the same book comes to mind, and I'd love to see it made into a film. Shadows on the Moon by Zoe Marriott, by the way. So for this question I thought that I would choose a different book that I'd like to see made into a film, and I did go up to and I did look at my bookshelves to see if I could find a copy, and when I was looking for that book I found another book by the same author which I think would be really cool as a film, and that is Dead Romantic by C.J. Scoose. It's about two girls who join together to try to build a perfect boy, and it just sounds like so much fun. Now, the other book that I was trying to find when I came across this book is Rockaholic, also by C.J. Scoose, and that is the story about a girl who kidnaps her favorite rock star and keeps him in her garage. And I don't know, I think that C.J. Scoose's books are so weird and different and fun that I think that they would translate well to a film screen. Now, the 7th and final question for this book tag relates back to Goodreads, and that is a book that you recommend to absolutely everyone. I do love Goodreads, I really do. There are so many books that I recommend to absolutely everyone that it was a little bit hard to narrow it down. But for this question I've decided to go with Dead Jealous and Dead Silent, both by Sharon Jones. These two books are YA thrillers focusing around the main character, Poppy Sinclair, as she tries to solve murders around her. The first book is set in a pagan festival, which I think is the coolest setting of any book that I've read recently, and Dead Silent sees her going to Cambridge in the winter and solving murders there. They're fantastic. I love the main character. I love her relationships with her mother, her father, her best friend turned boyfriend. There's so much to love about these books in this series. I really hope that there is more in the series. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Those are my answers. As for tagging, I would like to tag anyone from the Bookish Brits who would like to do this for our channel, and you, if you're watching this and if you haven't been tagged already but would like to do this, please feel free, jump right on in like I did and join in. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave all of my social media links down below if you want to check that out, and I will see you next time.